and while you were on lunch, I figured out the styled components issue. So let's go back and do that real quick. So when we did flow type, again, this is kind of a nascent ecosystem here. So we're still kind of figuring out how to get this to all play nicely together. When we did flow typed install, it was able to go out and grab almost all the definitions except one, which is the one definition that we were ignoring. So now the flow had no concept of this and it was also being ignored. So it just assumed that module did not exist. And the reason why is styled components was updated maybe 2 days before we started this course. And so I updated it because I wanted to be using the latest and greatest tech. Unfortunately, they haven't had time to release the new types for version 2. They only had the types for version 1.4. However, the API that we're going to be using, we're not using many of the new features, or any of the new features really. So we can go ahead and use the old type definitions and be mostly fine. So I want you to go into your command line. I want you to type flow type install styled dash components at 1.4. I think that should work. Honestly, you can probably just do 1.1. Nope, do 1.4. And that'll give you the types for 1.46, I think. Is that what it says? No, it just doesn't say. OK, so 1.4. And that should be sufficient for what we're using, despite the fact that we're using 2. So a little bit of a dangerous operation, right? But it's going to work. So just rest assured that I've been down this path. So now if we say yarn flow, it should work. So we can get rid of this. I had right here dash dash flow fix me, which just says like ignore the next line, right? But you can get rid of that now and everything should be working. You should be saying no errors. Cool. Any questions about that? Any questions about types or anything like that in general? So I've only shown you like a couple ways of doing typing, but we're going to keep going and doing more and more types as we go. So we'll be learning little bits and pieces about how to do specific type of annotations and some of the advantages that you can get from the typing system that we now have in place. Again, none of this is required, right? There's no problem if you just decide to remove @flow from all of your documents and just keep going without types. So I don't want for you to think that this is a required part of React, because it's definitely not, nor is it necessarily tied to React. You can write Angular projects with Flow as well.